Miri, I'm excited to have you here with me. So today is a very exciting day. It's the day that you're becoming the CEO of the company.
Yes.
That's it's been a crazy journey. It's been about 14, 15 years now that we're working together. There was a little bit time before, then you left and you came back after. And I still remember that day when you came back, and you're going to talk about it soon, that we kind of discovered something, right? We discovered how to generate leads from Google. And I remember you coming to the office and I told you, okay, don't tell it to anybody about it.
Yeah.
This is something very secret. And this is really how we got started the second time.
Yeah.
And since then, it's been 14 years now. We've been through a lot. It's the understatement. Changes with the company, personal changes in our life. You went through your own journey. I went through my own journey. But we're sitting here today, going from being a secretary to many things in the middle. But today, the CEO of the company, and really the leader and the one that's gonna really take us to the next step of where we want to be in the next 5, 10 years. But I think your journey and your story is amazing, and I was blessed enough to be there and experience it with you and see you grow and going through this craziness that we've been through. But I want you to share the story. I want to I think it will be very, I think it'll be great for people to kind of get to know you more and kind of to hear more about your experience and what you really bring into the business, because everything that you've been through.
Yeah.
So talk to us.
Super exciting. If you would ask me in 2008 when I came back, that 14 years after,
Yeah.
we'll have a conversation about it, I would say you're kidding.
Yeah.
Stop joking. But here we are.
Yeah.
So I'm super proud, super excited. Quite of a journey. I remember that conversation. I got separated from my husband.
Yeah.
And I was looking for a job, and I was thinking about you because you were the last place that I worked at. And then I saw you. I said, okay, it's faith.
Yeah.
That's where I belong. And then we met, and I remember coming to your office, and you told me that you found out a huge secret about digital marketing, and if I'm coming back, I have to give you my word that I'm going to stay at least for 5 years, that I cannot leave.
Yeah.
And I said, absolutely, yes. I was happy for the opportunity, and here we are. I kept my promise.
You did 3 times.
Yes, and here we are today. So I started as a person who's very quiet and shy and just wants to be to have his privacy and my inner peace, and just tell me what you need and I'll do it.
Yeah.
And I remember when we started chatting about digital marketing, I was devoted to it, like my 1000%, and I took all the seminars and any educational webinar that I could find. Even if it stay until 3 a.m. in the morning. Well, I had 2 kids, and as a single mom,
Yeah.
and going through a divorce, so there was a lot going on. But I remember that I was very determined. I had a vision of who I want to be and how I'm going to look like. And I remember back in the day, I was the only one who came to the office dressed in a certain business code, and everyone would look at me and was like, what's wrong with her?
Yeah.
But it was part of my vision, button up short and, in the pants and the jacket. Because I knew who I want to be, and I decided that in order to be that person, I need to live it. It's happening now. And it's been amazing. It was very challenging with 2 kids. My son was 2 years old. My daughter was 4 years old. Here all by myself, no family. Everyone are back in Israel. But the one thing I'm very, very appreciative is you. Because the one thing, it's the faith. You from day one, you believed in me, and you're like, let's go throughout the journey together. And that's something I really, really appreciate, and it's priceless. So thank you so much for that.
Of course.
Yes. fast forward, continuing working on the digital marketing, I remember it was myself. And then at some point, you and I said, it's time, let's add another person. So we added a developer. And then I found myself going through all that Google exams, passing that.
That you took the test for both of us, and I'm fine to say it on camera.
I didn't want to say it.
No, I don't care. And I got a higher score.
You got a higher score, yes.
And you took both tests.
And I took yours.
So thank you.
Yes. So yes, that was...
I think it was the first time in my life that I got over 70.
You got 97,
yes.
And I got 92, I think.
Right.
But yeah, that's how the Google partnership started.
Yeah.
So that's how we launched that. And then we started just adding people. So I just started educate myself. You know, we were talking, you were like, okay, this is what the company needs. So I was like, no problem. You know, I need to develop websites. I can do it.
Yeah.
That was the approach. I remember the day that you came to me and you were like, do you know how to build a website? And I said, yeah, absolutely. And then you left and I was like, how do I develop websites? So I just Googled and I searched and I found out how to do it. The first one didn't look so good. The second one looked much better. And, you know, I remember looking at it and I was like, wow, I did it. I developed websites. Which proved to me more, it's all about being determined and have that vision of who you want to be and the life that you want to have, and just live it and feel it and go for it.
Yeah.
So that was a big thing for me until today.
Yeah, I think the beautiful thing in the beginning was that even though you went through all these kind of earth-shaking things, right? The separation and the kids and alone here in the US and everything, you were still able to keep your vision and determination and determination is to keep going in that route, right? And I think that shows a lot.
So I remember back in the days, people thought that I'm crazy. Like, why are you staying here? You have no family here. You have 2 kids here. You have no money. I worked like, I think 15 hours a day to get as much income as I could. I mean, only the kids' daycare were like $1,400. And I was making back then, what, $12 an hour? Something like that. I remember at the beginning of the month, you know, I didn't have air to breathe. Like, where am I going to bring all the money? But it came, you know, things worked out.
Yeah.
I just kept educating myself. Like, I knew where I want to be, and I said, if I need to work right now 15 hours a day, I'll do that, and I'll educate myself. I remember that my mind was so like blown with like so many thoughts, and I remember that in order to kind of be able to think, I used to put like very loud music in my ears.
I remember. Yeah.
And one time you came to me and you're like, you can be deaf, you know, if you continue to do that. Like, I think it's too loud.
Yeah.
And it was funny, even though it was loud music, that's what really made me be determined and kind of shut down all these, you know, you have this negative voices all the time that speaks to us. Like, you cannot do that, it's too difficult. And at the time, I didn't know how to shut it down myself. So I used music for it, and it helped. Yeah. It helped a lot. That's what really kept me through, even studying, like for the Google exams. Like, you know, I had the divorce, I had a court with my ex-husband, and then I had my kids, and I had to make, you know, income, and then I had to develop myself. And, you know, how do you do it? Because you have that voice all the time. Yeah. And my family from Israel, like, what are you doing there? Like, come back. You know, you're not going to make it. My friends, everyone. And I remember at the time, people kept asking me, like, why are you doing it? You're crazy. And my answer was, there's like a light inside of me that I cannot explain in words that shows me the way. Yeah. I don't know how to explain it, but I'm just following it. It feels right. Even though it's very challenging, it feels right. And everyone are like, light? Feeling? Like, what are you talking about? Yeah. Today I know what it is. I found out what it is. That's me. That's my inner self. That's my inner voice. I didn't know that at that time.
But you were strong enough to listen to it and
Yes.
kind of shut out the noise, right? And really being truthful and listen to it and trust,
Yeah.
right? And I think that's a huge part of the rest of the journey and still the journey today, right? A lot of our conversation is about this light, right? Do we listen
Right.
to this light? Do we let this light express? Do we let this light lead our life compared to the noises,
Right.
right? So I think that's a huge part of the journey. So after the marketing part and Google and development, and at one point we even had a separate company
Yes.
that we only
We did
sold.
it so well.
Right. So everybody came to us and asked us, can you do us for us? And all that. So we had the marketing company for some time. And then we decided, said, okay, we made some internal changes that I don't want to get into, but we said, okay, now it's all about the franchise.
Right.
Right. And that was a very strong turn in really our growth, dedication, but also the growth of the franchise, the support of the franchisee, and everything else. From there, you start. Then you got into customer service, right? We start with, okay, Miri, we need help with customer service.
I was all over the
There's
place.
something that's going on, and
I was mainly in the
then-
marketing.
right.
So
But then I
was
want you to start talking about this process of going from the marketing.
Yeah.
First of all, going from hiding behind the two screens
Yes.
to start, okay, I can oversee people now, right? I don't need to hide behind the screen anymore, but it's still in the marketing department. But then start to go into marketing department and then franchise support and
Yeah.
then speaking with franchisees. I want you to talk about, because that is a huge change in sense of going behind to overseeing two people to suddenly, okay, now my world is opening up.
So my comfort zone is be on the back end. Like no one sees me, just tell me what I need to be done and I'll make sure it's done the best way possible.
Until today.
Until today. That was a decade ago. That was the comfort zone.
Yeah.
Have my music on and, just go with it and everyone are happy. As I said, I had a vision of who I want to be. And I did my best to live that person. However, there's always that voice telling you that you can't do it. However, I really, really wanted to do it. I had that light inside of me, or that feeling that I can do it. So what I really try to do best is to see the opportunities that are coming to me. So when talking about that transition from the back end to more like the front end, it's something that I realized that you would call it the universe or opportunities given to me. At the time, we had a person that used to work with me in the marketing. And then he was kind of the manager. I kind of handed it to him because I felt comfortable with it. And he left and he never came back.
Yeah.
Like he wanted to come back, but circumstances.
Yeah.
And then I knew that now it's going to be me. Like I remember coming to you and speaking with you. It wasn't even a question. Like, of course, I'll do it.
Yeah.
I was shaking, didn't feel comfortable at all, but it felt right. So I said, I'm going to do it. I'm not sure how, but it feels right. It's going to work out. And then I started overseeing people and then hiring more people in the marketing department and growing that and more divisions. And we have an in-house marketing team that does everything, like an agency. And while I was doing that, and when we decided to focus on the franchisees, I'm very, very dedicated to what I do all the time. I take it very personally. Even when I go home, I think about it, especially if something feels off. And marketing is a huge responsibility, and especially when working with franchisees, because in some occasions, it's their last, dollars or, money that they saved for such a long time, and then they just put it here in our business and, please invest it, and it needs to work because they have family and they have kids, and I felt all that weight on my shoulders.
Yeah.
So for me, it wasn't just to do marketing; it's to see them successful.
Yeah.
And because of that, I started to oversee other stuff or show interest in other stuff. Like, for example, we would have a marketing campaign, and then we would have the call center department. So we can generate leads. However, if the call center won't convert it, right, the phone calls into leads, then we're going to have a problem because the franchisee is not going to be happy. So it doesn't matter how great of a job I'm going to do. If they're not doing their job, it's my problem.
Yeah.
So that's how it started, with customer service. And that's how it started with the operation department, right? The franchise consultant, making sure that, you know, they work with the franchisees and the franchisees understand their business. Because when franchisees used to reach out to me, it's obviously when things didn't work on their end. In their mind, you know, it's marketing. However, when I spoke with them, I explained there's so many different pieces to the business, right? There's customer service, and that's how you oversee the business, and it's your employees and their own conversion ratio, so many different components. And as a result of that, I started to be more involved in the different departments, and, you know, educate everyone, learn myself, and most importantly, have happy franchisees.
Yeah.
So that's how it started, from being very committed to the process.
Yeah.
I remember at the time, you know, some people didn't like it. Like, you do the marketing, so be in the marketing. You know, why are you involved here? Like, you know. But I kept going because it felt right. I was very connected to our vision, right? To have, you know, a company with successful and happy franchisees, and, you know, have many franchisees throughout the US and Canada. And the only way to do that is if we have happy franchisees and we're all supporting them properly. Right,
right. I think what's very, not unique, but I think something that is great is the sense of ownership, right? Is from, as you go through everything, is like, okay, I mean, I can be very easily just focus on the marketing and generating leads, and if it's okay, it's okay. The rest of it is their problem. Right? But your sense of ownership and dedication, I think that what is part of who you are as Miri. Like, you're not just doing something and, okay, it's going to be okay. If not, this department is their responsibility. It's like, no, I will generate it here, but I want to make sure that the entire process is working well.
Right.
And I think that what worked very well, first of all, is your dedication. I mean, of course, your ability to get really into the details of things, right? It's not, you know, if I have the tendency to, okay, so let's just look at this and this, and we need to go right. It's like, okay, hold on for a second. Let's slow down. There is a few more things that we need to look at, right? But the sense of ownership, the dedication, the ability to dive in, kind of process. I think something that is very unique is a lot of people that are dealing with marketing, they're just marketing. People that are very process-oriented, they don't really understand marketing. But being able to understand marketing, brand, look at processes, while understanding who is our franchisee also, right? I remember you have days that you spend almost the entire days, 4 days, with the franchisees on the phone and really relating to them. Understanding, okay, I know what you're going through. I know the stress. I know that the $100 that you just invested in generating leads, I know what this $100 means to you. So I think all of it together, really what create the success that you've been seeing. Almost every department, not almost, every department that you walked into and kind of work with them with patience and love and understanding, but still being very tough and clear on what you want to create, been working very, very well, right? And leading to today, and it's not like I want to shortcut the journey, but I think what excites me about you becoming the CEO, it's not somebody that we bring from outside. It's like somebody that grew, being part of the vision, going through the journey that you've been going through, right? That's keep you very relatable and very open and very compassionate to the franchisees also, right? And having all this experience. And I'm going and saying, okay, I understand our franchisees. I understand the marketing. I understand customer. I answer the phone.
Yeah.
I spent the money on Google. I supported franchisees.
Yeah.
Not too long ago, we had a call from a franchisee not far from here that he got his first job, right? And he was with you on the phone, like, how do I set up the vacuum machine,
Yeah.
right? So that is it's amazing experience.
Yes.
And plus, we do have the openness in the company to bring advisors when we need to. So we bring people if we have an area that we want to get into. So I know that so how do you see it now? That's my view of it. So how do you see it now, being the CEO of the company for, how long has it been now? 3-4 years?
4 years.
4 years.
Yeah.
Now looking at your experience from everything that you learned, everything that you've been through, now stepping into, okay, I'm calling the shot. Of course, we have an advisory board and everything, but
Yeah.
it's really now you. So how do you see it? Kind of what is your view of it? How do you feel about it?
So 911 restoration is literally part of me. It's literally part of my soul. It means so many things to me. That was literally, in my perception, what saved me, especially in personal life, like throughout my divorce, when in my personal life everything wasn't great at all. However, that was my light. Right, so it means so much to me. I think when you speak about ownership and dedication and caring, that's the reason. Like, it literally carried me and helped me so much in so many aspects, that I want to do that for everyone that are part of the company. So it's something so deep inside me. And I remember throughout the years, I got a lot of different job offers. People I've been working with different people. People reached out and they offered more money and better benefits, and I was like, nope, I'm not doing it. Because there are things in life for me that are priceless. It's not the money. It's to do something that you love, that you're passionate about, that it's part of you. That you're not really working. You wake up every day and you enjoy what you do. So that's what 911 restoration is for me. And that's why I love it so much. I think about this journey. I remember that day that you and I spoke, and you're like, okay, you're going to be the COO. And I remember that day we spoke about it. I went home and, I was sitting outside with my husband, and I was like, I'm gonna be the COO officially. Like, I was doing it before, I just didn't have the title, so it was a little bit more challenging for me because some people, weren't listening, or they were like, okay, she can talk. But so you and I spoke, and we said, okay, it's time. And I remember speaking with my husband. I was like, why? I'm gonna be the CEO. And then I was like putting my hand on my head, and I was like, what did I got myself into? Like, I'm gonna have so much work to do right now. So I had that moment, and then I was like, I'm gonna be the CEO. It changed really quick, and immediately I had like all the things that I want to do, and in terms of the operation for the company and how things need to look like. And I remember that we've been through a very strong shift. Like, some people were like, what's going on? And I remember having a lot of conversation with, franchisees and headquarters team members, and really did my best to be really patient, with it, and being very caring and listening to everyone. Because I literally see everyone as we refer to it as the Fresh Start family. It's like, for me, it's literally like that. I think I know everything today about everyone in the headquarters, their personal life. Most of them today we grew, so, there are ones that I'm more in touch with. However, it's literally, it's a home. 911, it's a home for me. And so being the COO was funny. I was more at the front of, at the front end of the company, but still kind of at the back end of the company. Even though, it's COO, but the internal team heard my voice more, right? I had meetings with them all the time. However, the rest of the world, except of, LinkedIn maybe, and seeing the title, I was very quiet.
Yeah.
I was focused. I was like, this is where I need to go. This is the vision that we have, and it's my job to make it happen. And again, back in the days, I was more, my comfort zone was being at the back end, and I felt like gradually I was, okay, I'm taking one more step and one more step. And, and here we are today.
Yeah, yeah. So now what's really exciting to me is, as I said earlier, is somebody with your experience. Of course, dedication, caring, ownership, everything that we talked about that is super important. And it's a huge part of the success that we've been seeing in the past years now, right? But kind of from your view, going through all that experience, understanding the strength, the weaknesses of the company, knowing our franchisees, knowing our team very well, knowing the landscape of their industry that we are in, kind of how do you feel now stepping into that position and saying, okay, I have that in my bag, right? All my experience that I have, and now kind of what is your vision into the future? What is your thoughts about the future? Kind of when you went from, oh, I'm a COO now, you're going through the part of, holy shit, what just happened? But then half an hour after is like, okay, I have a lot of things to do, right? So I want to talk about this, a lot of things to do.
Okay.
not as a checklist, but you know what I mean.
Yeah. So now I have even more things to do. Exciting, super exciting. For me, I love to do stuff. I cannot sit still. And I'm super excited for the growth journey, because that's what it's all about for me. It's literally the universe is giving birth to me again,
yeah.
in a way. One of the things I learned throughout the years, and it's something that we're going to do right now differently, is to listen to our franchisees. So after being in all the different departments and supporting the franchisees in all the different ways, and having so many different conversations with them, at this point, I understand what they need to be a happy franchisee. One of the things I learned, and we learned, that a happy franchisee is not necessarily a profitable franchisee. It's important to be a profitable franchisee, but there are many, many more things to that. And that's going to be my mission right now. It's all about them, is listen to what they need, which is they want business. They want to grow their business. Yes, they want to support, but bottom line, they want more business. They want more business from us, from the brand name, and be proud of being a 911 restoration franchise. And that's my vision, to increase the brand awareness significantly. We're going to launch national marketing campaigns. We're going to be in front of all the carriers, targeting commercial clients, increase significantly the national accounts program that we have. We currently have a robust plan and strategy for that. So the next 12 months is going to be all about that. It's going to be a lot of local business development and regional accounts for them. So hiring more people that are going to give them that specific support, call them every month, meet with them at least once every quarter, and show them how it's done, shake hands on their behalf, open doors for them, get to a point that when people need restoration company, they're looking for 911 restoration. That's the vision, and that's what's going to happen. I mean, if we speak in 12 months.
Where do I sign to buy a franchise?
So one of the things as the CEO, my main objective was to build a strong system, to have that infrastructure. And that was the thing that I truly devoted myself in order to go to the next step. You cannot go to the next step unless you have a strong, solid system.
Okay.
right? So that's
Yes.
what we're.
Okay, very good.
So
Yes.
that's what I was doing, for the last few years. That was the transition, right? It was a really significant transition to everyone. However, it was needed. And what changed today is that we have that infrastructure, we have a great system, and now we're ready to step up.
Okay, so that is a great point. That explains a lot of kind of your vision of the next step of the company. So you just mentioned those two things. So the past 3-4 years, your focus was mainly how to build the infrastructure for the next growth. I think another part of it was how many franchisees do we want to have? How big is the areas that we're covering also,
Right.
to have the most impact that we're going out. So you feel, and I'm with you on that 1,000%, that, okay, we have a very good infrastructure, right? We have people that have been with us for many, many years. We have the support, we have the data, we build the technology.
Knowledge.
So there is a lot of things that we put in place in the past few years while we saw a great growth with the company.
Yeah.
So now you're saying that when we have these two things in place, now is let's get out there and make.
Yeah, we're at 100 franchisees.
Yeah.
So we have the coverage now, especially for national accounts.
Yeah.
We have the system, and now we're ready.
Yeah. So now that you're becoming the CEO, I mean, you are already the CEO. What is very exciting to me, again, is somebody with your experience, dedication, being with us. I mean, we've been working together for so many years now. It's like I think about something and you already know, or you think about something and we already kind of read each other's minds, and we're collaborating and we're appreciating each other very much. But again, exciting to me because all the experience, right? Secretary, marketing, everything that we talked about. And so I want to hear from you. I want you to share what is your kind of, how do you see the next step of, the next step of the company for the next, 12 months, 5 years, 10 years, and kind of talking about what you're focused on in the past 3-4 years and how that is going to lead to the next step of the company.
Yeah, sure. So we need a good system. That was something that we're lacking before. And then I'll elaborate a little bit. For example, national accounts. We didn't really have that, right, in the last few years. And that's something that we're able to establish. Today we have a program. We have reps that are supporting the franchisees and the clients. We have different clients that are working with us today nationwide. And that's something that we didn't have. Today we have the experience. So the next step, we want to approach the carriers. We knew that when we are going to approach carriers, we cannot mess it up. Therefore, we need to be good at our game, and we need to know what we're doing. So we launched that program. We worked with different clients, right? Some of them are bigger, some of them are smaller. And now everything is going to the next step because we've done mistakes, we've learned the hard way. We did different testing, so now we're ready, right? Because if you ask our franchisees what do they want to work with carriers. They want to have a national program with carriers. Back then, we could have reached out to carriers, probably wouldn't work because we didn't know how to do it. In the last 3 to 4 years, this is what we did. We had that program.
Yeah.
We know how to do it. Now, I feel super comfortable to reach out to carriers and present, our service. And I know that we'll deliver outstanding service to them.
Yeah.
So that's just one example. Another example is with all the other departments, right? As we grow and to be able to accommodate, over 100 franchisees and national campaigns, right? And be the leading restoration company out there, there's a lot of responsibility that is part of it. Whether if it's the marketing department that needs to operate in a certain way, or customer service, or the operations team, and even accounting, right? So we invested a lot of time in developing different technologies and different tools that will help us to maintain all that, system and the workload and the support to the franchisees. So, there's a lot of innovations that we've done. We also worked a lot with our, internal team with self-development. I'm so happy and proud that, and soon we're going to announce about different promotions. People that started with us as, as a receptionist or, and today they're growing, and some of them to managers and some of them, directors, and it's inspiring to me, especially because I've been through that. So, I want to see other people go through that. It's fun. That's where I get my energy from. So these are the main things that we've been doing: investing in people, creating that, structure for the next step, and technology, which is a big thing for us.
So now that we have everything in place, I mean, you kind of already answered the question, but I want to emphasize again. So now that we have everything in place, the two big things are now, I don't know if the word scalability, but really becoming the brand.
Absolutely,
in the industry.
Because throughout the 3 to 4 years, we also continued to sell more franchisees. So today we're at 100. I think a little bit higher than 100. And that's the point. That's the point that we step up. We have the coverage. I mean, obviously, the vision is to have many, many more. But I think we're at an awesome point to take it to the next level. So the vision is to have happy franchisees, happy organization, happy team members. The vision is to be that company that everyone want to be part of. So we don't have to advertise to sell 911 franchise. People are going to call us to be a franchisees. Our franchisees are going to be super happy to be part of us. That's the company that we will be.
Amen. Some of the changes and some of the conversation that we had in the past few weeks is, and this is to some level is a change in mindset of enough selling in a way. Let's just get so good that everybody's just going to want to work with us.
Exactly.
Right? So changing that mentality, and we even talked about not just saying it, actually making changes to some of our budget internally. Right, that we brought up is maybe, okay, let's take down from like selling and let's invest more in what's going to bring more, creating a healthier organization, right, as we're saying. So
absolutely. So right now that's exactly what we're working on. Shifting budget from sales and significant portion of that budget into a national campaign to enhance the brand, to be perceived as the go-to company when it comes to restoration. So that's a huge shift. And again, be that company that people want to be part of. So not necessarily market our brand for franchise prospects, right? Not at all, but have them reach out to us just because they heard how great we are and they want to be part of us.
So in a way we pushed, seeing good growth, very healthy company overall, but saying, okay, we're the part of, if we take our 100 franchisees and really invest in them, that will take care of the rest.
Yes, because we knew,
that's what we're saying.
For example, for national accounts, we literally launched that program, from ground up. When reaching out to clients, and I remember I was part of these conversations, one of the things that they ask is coverage, which at the time we didn't really have, right? So we tried, to look at, the best possible and added more dots at the map. However, we knew we're not there. So that was also one of the focus, is to get to 100, right? Get coverage in the most, important cities that we know that there is more demand, and now we're there. So now we're changing it because we know, we're definitely ready.
We're there. I think that there's another change that's been happening now for the past 2-3 years, is that we're being more selective with the franchisees that we bring in to the company, right? So it's not so much about whoever can pay for the franchise fees will come in. For us, it's a lot more of a royalty game compared to a franchise fee game, right? We learned, we've been through it so many times now, that we want to bring people that are aligned with the culture of the company, with the idea of the fresh start, and be there for the clients and everything, right? So we're taking it even another step forward. We say we're not even going to push so hard to find these guys.
Right.
We're just going to be so good that these guys will come to us.
Right.
Right. That's another shift.
When you talk about that, it's more of like having the right franchisees,
Yeah.
not just any franchisee.
Yeah.
It's not about the quantity, right? It's more about, the quality.
Yeah.
We want to work with people who want to be part of us, who want to succeed with us, who wants to grow with us.
Yeah.
That will be fun to cooperate and fun to collaborate with them. And that's also a big change. So today we ask more questions. There's a whole process that we added to that. That was also a shift on our end, because we used to do it way differently. But yes, absolutely, it's part of it.
I have another thing that I want to talk about, and it's kind of your experience going through everything that you're going through as a woman. Right, we are in an industry that are mainly dominated by men, right? But overall, if we look at the landscape of business and government and everything around, it's not now, for many years now, there is this empowerment, right? We want the feminine energy, the nurturing energy to come in, but you've been going through all that in our industry. And many times especially when you spoke with franchisees, you can speak with the guy in the field that is very, I am the man, right? And you need to go through it. So I think I would love to hear your experience, kind of going through everything that you went through as your perspective as a woman.
Okay. I think now I'll start from the beginning, I guess. So I got divorced many years ago, and the reason behind that is because my ex-husband believed that a woman should be in the house and raise kids, and that's pretty much her role. And I didn't connect to it. I looked myself as an individual, man, woman, doesn't matter. I have dreams that I want to achieve, and regardless of what I am, I want to make it happen. And that's the reason that I got divorced. Now thinking about my conversations with franchisees, I think there is even advantage of being a woman. I think my conversations,
I can see that too.
My conversation was much easier. Like, even if a franchisee would have something really tough or harsh to say, I always, with me it was different, right? The dynamic was a little bit different. So I think I always saw it, if there is any difference, it's a big advantage.
Okay.
On my end. However, I don't really, I don't see any differences, right? For me, when I started that journey, I looked at myself as Miri, a person, in this case female, that has goals and want to see herself in a certain place, and I just went for it, right? Whether if it's education or whatever I had to do to make it happen. Throughout the years, we've had different people that used to work with us. Some of them were more challenging than others. A lot of them were male. Right. However, not even once, I didn't speak up when I thought that I should, or say something, or, or share an idea or anything like that. I mean, for me, I always saw myself in an organization that respects everyone, and just, if I'm good at something and I'm doing a great job, then great, I'll get promoted, regardless if I'm, male or female. So that's my perception on it.
Yeah, amazing. Yeah. I think what I love, and we've been working together for so many years, but it just comes out again as we're talking about it, that trusting my inner fire, right? That inner voice, and kind of blocking, overwhelming even from the beginning of the story, is the noises.
Yeah.
That you're not good enough, it's not the right place, you're not going to be able to do it, you're not going to, right, you kind of be able to block it and believe in going after what you want to. And that leads me to a second question. I know you have a daughter that is 17 years old.
Yes.
Right? She's now starting as an internship.
Yes.
With
with 911 restoration.
Yeah, so that's super cool. But really, what would be your advice to a woman that starting her career or in the middle of her career and kind of having those noises, right? The fear of not good enough, I'm not going to be able to make it. So what would be your advice?
My advice would be to my daughter and to any women, just stick with the inner truth. And that gut feeling that feels right, that's what we need to go for, regardless of what are the obstacles and challenges that we're going to go through, because there are always challenges and it's part of growth. Just stay with your truth. And if you have a certain dream and this is where you want to go, just go for it. And, keep in mind that there's going to be, some challenges and a certain price, would say, that you may pay for it. But if that's what makes you happy and that's your truth, just go for it and it will happen. Like, believe in it in all, within your soul, your body, live and breathe it 24/7. And it will happen regardless of, male, female, it will happen. So another thing I want to mention is about those voices that we were talking about. Like, we all have that positive voice on one side and the negative voice on the other side. And I think that as a woman, right, and I've been there myself, one of the negative voices is to say, like, I'm a woman, right? Instead of saying, I'm a woman, right? Embracing it, like, use all the benefits, celebrate it, right?
Yeah.
And I think that was also a huge learning experience for me throughout this journey. Connect more to myself as a woman, like, be feminine, not to be shy about it, celebrate it and embrace it.
So I want to finish up with a fresh start, because I know it's something that is very close to both of us. It's some days I even feel that we're building this organization for the idea of the fresh start is something that we want to spread into the world.
Yeah.
We started the Fresh Start Foundation about 6-7 years ago. Beside that, the Fresh Start is a big part of our culture, right? That every moment carry unlimited amount of possibilities. We also want to do things and support charities, and even some of our convention with our franchisees, we raise money into the Fresh Starts and we donate and all that. The Fresh Start been playing a big part of our culture in the past few years. But we had a conversation a few days ago, and we had some experiences in the first few months that I want you to talk about, that I feel like this is where you want to take now the Fresh Start even deeper into our culture as a company and create a much deeper experience for everybody. So I want you to talk about what we experienced in the past 2-3 months that brought it up, and kind of what you brought as an idea last week. So
as you shared throughout the years, we have the Fresh Start Foundation, and every time when we had annual convention, we would choose a certain charity and then raise, funds to them and donate as an organization, and we were able to get like thousands of dollars, so that was awesome. In the last few months, we've had a few scenarios with headquarters team members that needed extra help. One of them, for example, had some medical issues, and suddenly there's like high medical bills that the person needed to pay, and I didn't know the person didn't have the funds for it. And when I heard about it, immediately I knew that we're going to help her. And then I reached out to you, and we both, of course, as always, on the same mindset, and we helped that person. We gave that person a check from the Fresh Start Foundation, and that person was thrilled. A month after, something similar happened with the different team member about something different. And then we did that again, and that brought the whole Fresh Start attitude how can we take that a few steps forward? How can we support all of our teams, that they know that, that we're here for them? And when we speak about all the teams, we're talking about the headquarters teams and the franchisees, of course, because we all have and are going through things and challenges in life. So the idea is to have that fund from the Fresh Start Foundation that will be available to everyone who is in need. We'll have a committee that will be able to kind of dive in depth into each case and see how we're going to help these people. The biggest thing is to truly be that Fresh Start family, that everyone know that they're not alone. And they're like over, it's a family of 1,000 people, and we're here and we're helping each other. As the headquarter, we add funds to the Fresh Start Foundation all the time, and now we're going to take it to the next step. And another thing is, of course, partner up with a charity, right? So take that also, to the external world, not only us, and be able to truly make a difference out there. And I think with, over 100 franchisees and over 1,500 people in our organization and partnering up with a charity, I think we can make a huge impact, and I'm really looking forward to that.
Yeah. So even though I've been part of this journey, shoulder to shoulder, it was a lot of fun and even heartwarming just to sit and kind of talk about it again with you, and kind of when you talk about things, I have all the images in my head. So I seriously, I couldn't be prouder than sitting here in front of you and kind of not even letting you, celebrating with you your growth. So yeah, super happy. I'm super happy for everybody in the organization, because I think they couldn't get a better CEO to step in and really take us to where we need to be as a company. So I'm very, very thankful. And I'm very excited. And as always, shoulder to shoulder.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you.
My pleasure. Very, very excited as well. For me, it's starting a new journey.
Yeah.
Even though, I've been here for so many years, it's something new to me. I'm looking forward for that journey and the challenges and the fun and sometimes roller coasters. However, that's what makes it interesting. Very, very exciting, and great things to look forward to.